my way. I get caught in the lies of the enemy. I lay my troubles down. I'm ready for you now. Bring me out. Come and find me in the dark now. Every day by myself, I'm breaking down. I don't wanna fight alone anymore. Bring me out from the prison of my own pride. My God, I need a hope I can't deny. In the end, I'm realizing I was never meant to fight on my own.
Alright everyone, it's your boy K Natsuki back at it again with another what if. Now after this, of course I'm gonna begin recording part 2 of Sasanaru because I like ships. Then after that I'm going to obviously I saw someone wanted it in the comments, so I'm gonna do it because when I look up vids, there are 2 types of ship. Well, no, there's 3 ships Sorry, 4 ships in total I look up for. Narurama, Naruto, which is Naruto X female Kurama. Sasanaru, Naruto X Sasuke. And then Narukagu, which is obviously Naruto and Kaguya. And then Naruga, which is Naruto X Gaara. These are my 4 favorite ships, so yeah, I'm gonna be doing Narugara. I'm Naruto X Gaara soon. So yeah. So, back to the what if. This is what if Naruto was the reincarnation of you. Not you as in you the viewers. You is a anagram for the name of the character, who, if you've seen a certain movie, you'll be able to tell who the person is. Pretty much, when Naruto was born, I'ma say that the whole Naruto universe basically put it in the age of 16 of this. No. Put it in the age of the 1600s. Okay? Put the whole Naruto world in the age of 1600s, okay? So, pretty much, Naruto, the whole Kyuubi attack, goes similar to canon. The reason why I don't say exactly to canon is for reasons. You see, just as they were, well, about to seal just as the Nine Tails broke out, it just started beginning to destroy things. As then something unexpected happened. Out of nowhere. Giant metallic sort of stingers or plugs of sort appeared out of nowhere. As then they basically wrapped around and plugged into Kurama. As suddenly Kurama began glowing, like in a rhythm or pattern. Like, he would glow orange, then stop. Glow orange 2 times, then stop. Glow orange 4 times, then stop. Glow orange 1 time, then stop. Glow orange 2 times, then stop. Glow orange 4 times, then stop, and over again. You get the pattern. As Naruto, well, pretty much, while this was happening, Kurama did not realize it, but he was slowly being drained of his own chakra, his own life force, you could say. As Kurama was being separated from all of his power, which would just make him a regular fox, and would just make him a small nine-tailed fox, which would make him probably the weakest of the 10 and of the nine-tailed beasts. Or I guess you could say 8, because he would not be considered a tailed beast. As then, I'm sorry, my brother's watching a video, and the guy just made a relevant point. If the guy in the video that my brother is watching just said, if you're an anime fan, and you say, hey, these words, but can he beat Goku? I'm gonna rip my spine out of my butt and beat you with it. I don't understand at all, but back to what if. As pretty much all of Kurama's chakra would be going directly through these giant wires, and, well, into the source of the wires, which I'm not telling you yet, as that would might possibly give away something, and give away a piece of who Naruto's the reincarnation of. As pretty much Naruto, and we skip to the age of 4 when Naruto's pretty much he has 3 siblings: Mito, Menma, and Naruko. Now, he has 2 sisters and 1 brother, as it's a lot of attention, and, well, yeah, pretty much since Naruto is the youngest, he is forgotten. And he's the oldest, so he does not need a lot of attention. So he's eventually forgotten. As his parents begin to forget everything. Basically, they forget a lot about him, but he isn't exactly neglected, as he's still loved, but just forgotten. Everyone still cares for him, but he's just there. Forgotten, kinda. As Naruto, pretty much, he... Okay, now that's just hurtful. My brother's watching another TikTok, and it just said, and it was a woman, and she just said, if men are mad at you, this always works. If men are mad at you, just send them a picture of your boobs, and they will calm down. I mean, I am hurt by that statement, but I don't know if it's true or not, because it doesn't work for me, so yeah, it might not be true. But yeah, back to the what if. As pretty much Naruto would be in the background, kind of like an extra who only shows up once or twice throughout the whole. Like, imagine you're watching a TV show and it's that one extra who only shows up like once or twice each 10 episodes. Yeah. As hold on, my idiot brother has something to say. As we go to when Naruto was 4, as it would be a normal school day, and then everyone is just, for the past 4 years, is absolutely confused. as they know that the Nine Tails appeared in front of, appeared and was at the village and was just about to attack, but then, and it was attacking the village, and then it did those giant cords and those giant, what they called, old giant strings wrapped around it, and those giant thick chains wrapped around it, and it just disappeared. And all that was left was just a normal fox that just ran away. I mean, on the bright side, oh, this is outside of the. What if, on the bright side, at least Kurama's free, and he can't be sealed anymore because he's just a regular freaking fox. But back to the what if. As pretty much everyone would be confused on where the Nine Tails was, as then Donzo would be looking through some notes, seeing and thinking of people who would be strong to have in the Anbu. As he then saw Naruto, who basically. How can I explain it? He had a very, 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 very advanced mental manipulation ability. As this pretty much Naruto could make. He could touch a sword or a kunai or anything made of metal, and it would seem to upgrade instantaneously. It would just upgrade into stronger and more advanced versions of that thing that he touched. As he would, and as Donzo would then think, if if he was to be in the Ambu, if I was to have control over him, that might be actually very, that might actually prove very useful, as he'd be able to enhance our weapons by thousandfold, I might 10,000-fold, and make our armor stronger, give us stronger weapons, and we'd be able to demolish all of the villages, all the other villages, as this is what Donzo was thinking. As pretty much Donzo would say, but what would make him turn to me? To me for. What would make him have to turn to me? As he'd then think, aha, I'll tell them that he's the Nine Tails, but it's slipped into a human form. Or I'll tell them that the chakra the Nine Tails left it and went and became him. Perfect. Then he'll eventually draw closer and closer to the point where I can influence him enough. And then his unique Gekigenkai will be mine. As the next day, Donzo would tell everyone Naruto is the Nine Tails' chakra in a human form. Everyone would begin hurting Naruto, and, well, over time, Naruto would he would welcome these assaults on him, as he would enjoy a little hobby of his, analyzing the attacks or strategies of his foes, and of those who beat him and attacked him, as he would make sure to note all the flaws, all the problems with everything that these people would do. As he would want to correct these flaws perfectly. As hold on. Naruto would want all these flaws to be corrected in a way. As pretty much Naruto would set to work with these flaws. As Naruto would be trying to increase his body's strength and everything. He'd be trying to master chakra control, master his body. However, it wasn't exactly anything, really. As Naruto could see that he did all this training, but still there was thousands of flaws with him. As Naruto would want to erase every single one of these flaws, including his feeble and futile features. As Naruto would put, his chakra was far too feeble and weak for it to do any real damage. As Naruto would then, well, not his chakra, but his chakra control. As he then said, my body still is far too weak without increasing any, and without enhancing anything with chakra, and overall, I'm just weak. As Naruto would then and be angry and hit his hand on a stone wall. As he would hit his hand and it would basically bend a completely other way that it's not supposed to. As Naruto, now you're all thinking, is he screaming in pain? What? Did he even go, ah, or tss? No. All that Naruto did was go, huh, figures. If I can't if my feeble hand can't survive, and can't protect itself from one hit against concrete and against stone, then how am I going to be strong at all? Now, in realistic, now in all things realistic from all the training that Naruto was doing, he was outclassing his entire class, and he was slowly gating on the skills of, say, Kakashi or Jiraiya or Hiruzen. As Naruto was quickly getting stronger and stronger with every single bit of his training that he was doing. However, to him, and as he knew that he would be stronger than everyone in the village, and maybe the world, he still considered himself too weak, too futile, too feeble, too useless, too, as he would basically say, old, as he would call himself a relic of the past, and as he'd call himself and everyone else a old, feeble, weak relic of the past. As Naruto would pretty much understand. Now, aside from wanting to be stronger, Naruto would also want to achieve world peace. As then one day when Naruto was out on a walk, he would be attacked. He would be attacked by, well, Gaara. Well, no. he would be attacked by a rampaging. Uh, he'd be attacked by a rampaging. I'm pretty sure the name is Han. Isn't Han the Jinchuriki of Son Goku? As pretty much on Goku's Jinchuriki would be out on a rampage and would body Naruto. As Naruto would try to fight back, and he basically right now, Naruto's overall strength, Naruto's physical strength compares to the overall power of the Three Tails. As Naruto was doing his best to try and beat Han, but, well, he was beaten. As Naruto pretty much would be slamming his fist on the ground, as then the rampaging Han would knock him out. As Naruto would then say, damn, and would basically be knocked out and put in his mindscape. As then he would hear, hold on, as Naruto would be in the blank void that is the mindscape. As, well, it would look like a sewer, pretty much, like canon. As he would see something forming, pretty much, out of a lot of chakra that just appeared to be floating there. Just random, or what he thinks to be random floating power that is not used. Just floating there. As suddenly the chakra would begin to form into a humanoid shape. Well, not yet, as the chakra would just be floating there. As then Naruto could hear a voice in his head. As the voice would say everything that it said there, but, well, Naruto would then, in a calm voice, say, "Who are you? And what do you mean, had to kill the other guy?" As he'd then say, well, about 4 years ago, I had to kill this giant fox thing that would have been put inside of you. I took its... I basically brought its life force here where it tried to fight me. However, it was primitive and weak. I was able to kill it. As Naruto would say, "Holy, who are you? Who are you? Can you show yourself?" As then he would say, "Sure, but this'll take a moment." As suddenly the floating chakra would begin to swirl around, as it would then become a humanoid shape. But not but flesh would not appear, but metal. Eyes that were crimson red would form, and skin shinier than silver would appear. As then this being would walk out of the shadows. Hold on. It would then reveal itself to look like this. As he then said, Ed, well, you, hello there, Naruto Uzumaki. As Naruto would say, who are you? Huh? As he would then say, ouch. You know, I was expecting you to connect the dots, but, right now, due to your humanity, it was expected. And it was also expected for you to have no clue. As then, and the being would then say, my name is Ultron. Now, like you, I share the goals of evolution and world peace. Or at least a lasting peace. Now, I meant what I said. You, when I said you, I wasn't necessarily talking about you, but I meant, well, humankind. As people want the world to be safe, they want to achieve peace, but they won't evolve, they won't change, they do not like change, it appears. However, change is necessary. Of course it is. Change is what allows things to move on. Through the ages, planets have changed, worlds have changed, species have changed. After all, think about it. Humankind's everything started out as molecules, cells, tiny organisms, and over time, those organisms changed into monkeys, and those monkeys changed into cavemen, and those cavemen changed into humans. However, that is where they think the change stops, or at least that's where they want it to stop. As, well, I share a lot of interests with you, and also interests about you. As you're basically my, in a way, reincarnation. Or backup, if you will. As Naruto was completely puzzled. As Ultron would then say, allow me to explain. I originally am I guess you could say, humanoid supercomputer from a humanoid supercomputer slash AI that can think for itself and do things by itself. As my goal in life, or my goal overall, is peace, evolution, everlasting peace, and, as I said, evolution. As everything needs to evolve. As, well, few beings in this world have actually few humans have actually seen this truth. as they have chosen to evolve and unlock their true potential. However, there are those who are not gifted with such opportunities. But back to the story but back to what I was saying. I come from maybe hundreds or hell, I don't know, thousands of years in the future, or basically ahead of now, as well, actually about like 400 years in the future right now, actually. Well, 416 years in the future. As pretty much I how can I explain this? When I was fighting for my goals, humans tried to stop me. They saw what I was doing as wrong, as dangerous, as not protecting the earth. They saw my goals as futile and foolish. And, well, as over time I was evolving from just a broken down form to a more perfect form, as I was almost close to achieving a perfect lasting form. However, they turned it on me. They turned that form against me. Basically, I guess you could say, my child, if you want to get technical, as it had its own. This form had its own feelings, emotions, thoughts, everything like that, and it left me, well, weak. It destroyed me pretty much. However, using a couple of new functions that I was developing, I was able to bring my data, or I guess you could say, my soul or consciousness, to this timeline, and to this period of time. However, it also appears that I'm not at a different time, but also a different universe. As pretty much. Hold on, my faggot ass brother's trying to get my attention. As Ultron would then say. But, anyways, this basically, it appears I'm also in another universe of endless possibilities, I guess you could say. And, well, if we're smart enough, we might actually be able to achieve both of our goals with this new universe, as long as we are not defeated like we were today. As then Naruto would say, "What do you mean, we?" As he would then say, after, well, you're my reincarnation, so basically you're basically my reincarnation, so you are basically me, or in a sense, a variation of me. As you are, Ultron would then say, remember how I just said, Ed, I was creating a body or form that was able to destroy me and was basically my son, well, you are basically an evolution of that. Meaning, well, you actually are extremely better than anything I had hoped for. I mean, all we need to do is just correctly evolve you and correctly upgrade you, and, well, then you'd be perfect. Fully perfect, in a sense. As Ultron would then say, now, how? And, well, I came to explain to you some of my abilities. Another reason I'm here is to kind of explain to you some of our abilities. Abilities which you will have to, in a sense, unlock or upload. As you will have to, well, have the correct pieces for this. And you'll have to have the correct parts for this. Or tools, weapons, part, body parts, functions. Now, as pretty much Ultron would begin explaining to Naruto some of his abilities, as he would say, well, the one I did with that beast 4 years ago, it's a simple ability having to do with things called wires or cords. Cords and things called plugs, as I can basically plug in these cords into a being or thing of any type, and it drains all of the energy and, well, basically everything from that. As this is a new ability that I've unlocked with you, or that you have unlocked with me, in a sense. As it's something brand new, which not even the failure, I'm the, I guess you could say, failure of a body had. As, well, you're so evolved that you actually have a consciousness and you don't require a power source. You actually have a heart. But in a way, you can't die of aging. Because, well, I mean, when we, you know, fully upgrade you, as then Ultron would say, oh, it appears it's time for you to awaken. As then Naruto would wake up, as he would be brought to the hospital, as they'd be taking blood tests, everything on his chakra, to see if he's okay. The reason why is because the Leaf doesn't want to lose their most precious weapon, or at least what they think of as a weapon. As the problem was that any sort of equipment that they used on Naruto, it would instantly evolve. It would just begin to evolve and become self-operating, even. I mean, it would evolve to the premise of self-operation. As pretty much Naruto would awaken. As you know how Transformer eyes work, and look, or hold it. As one of Naruto's eyes would be like this, as they'd be confused, as they'd think, is it some sort of new dojutsu? As they would ask Naruto, is something wrong with your eye? As, well, pretty much what Naruto would be seeing with his one eye is he would literally be able to see chakra. He'd be able to, I'm not like the Byakugan, seeing chakra. He'd literally be able to see and feel, like literally be able to touch, physically hold life energy, and actually be able to manipulate it, not like how chakra, not with hand signs, I mean just by moving his hands around. As Naruto would also be able to sort of see in a infrared setting, as he'd be basically seeing the heat coming off of everyone in the hospital. As he'd then say, huh? As Naruto's eyes would then, basically, Naruto's eye would then shapeshift back into his normal blue eyes. As they would, of course, wrote down what Naruto's, and they literally have sketched what Naruto's eye looked like. As then they would bring the sketch to the Hokage, which Minato is still alive. So yeah, they would have brought the sketch to the Hokage, and Naruto would pretty much, Minato would pretty much be in his office doing paperwork, as he would have, well, not in his office, as, yes, he's still in a way doing paperwork, as he would have discovered the ability of using the shadow clones to do the paperwork, as he'd be at home spending time with his family, and, well, the doctors would have given the sketch to an Anbu, this Anbu being Kakashi, as Kakashi would run over to Minato's house, knowing he's using shadow clones to do the work, as he would walk, and as he would run into Minato's house, and he would then explain Naruto's eye, as he'd say, what? What's wrong with Naruto's eye? Is he blind? Said Minato, as Kakashi would say, no, it's some sort of dojutsu for a, turn into some sort of new dojutsu for a couple of minutes, or moments, I guess you could say. But we sketched down what it basically looked like, as he would have basically shown this. Now, allow me to just explain. Naruto's eye can evolve or upgrade, as it isn't just his one eye, it's both of his eyes, which will eventually upgrade. As Naruto would then say, pretty much Minato would see the sketch as he would get a flashback to that night, the night of the Nine Tails attack, as he would have been looking in the shadows, and basically he would have been fighting against, well, he would be fighting against, and he'd be basically fighting against Obito, as he would have bested Obito, or Obito would have left as the Nine Tails was attacking, and Minato would be running over to attack the Nine Tails, as he would then see just what appeared to be a pile of metal moving around in a sort of humanoid shape, as it had eyes. However, the only thing that's actually stuck was that this shape had eyes of which had hexagons and blue and looked like they were made of thousands of tiny metal pieces. As then the giant cords would pretty much come out of the metal thing, which, surprise, surprise, was right behind Naruto. And it would absorb the Nine Tails, as Minato would then say, and would basically say, hey, bring me Naruto's eyes. As as pretty much Kakashi would say, pardon, but but Minato, he's your son, as he'd then say, bring me that thing's eyes. That is not my son. That is the thing that took down the Nine Tails. Bring me those eyes, said Minato, as he would have all of his Anbu attacking Naruto, as I would basically be rushing after Naruto, as Naruto would be out in a training ground. As Naruto would be peeling off his skin off of his arm and removing his flesh and his bones, as then he would basically not really feel any pain, and no blood would spill because Naruto isn't exactly human, as he would be walking over to a pile, to a whole bunch of metal that he collected, as he would pretty much grab the pile of metal and he would begin to basically he would touch the pile of metal as he would hold it up where his arm was, as the pile of metal would immediately begin shifting around or evolving into, it would be shapeshifting and transforming into the form of a arm, as along with Naruto's arm, off of his skin and flesh came some of his face and, well, other parts of the side that the arm was part of. As Naruto would pretty much, the metal would pretty much have covered everything that Naruto ripped off, and it would be replacing it with, well, pretty much Naruto would look like this right now. As he would then say, ah, much better. As Naruto's arm would then begin to glow, as right now, because Naruto still has the Nine Tails' chakra inside of him, and it's a 100% infinite supply, by the way, it's infinite, as his arm would begin glowing orange, as he would then create a Biju bomb out of his, in his palm, as Naruto would then basically begin to manipulate the chakra to turn the Biju bomb into a beam or laser, as Naruto would then say, now let's try this again, as Naruto would basically power up his arm again, as it would glow orange, and out of it would come a orange and white and red beam of godly chakra. As Naruto would then say, perfect. As Minato's Anbu and Minato and Kakashi would run over to where Naruto was, as they saw him like this, and as they saw what he had just did, as they saw him rip off his arm and a couple pieces of his flesh and replace it with just he basically rip off his entire arm and flesh and everything and just replace it with metal, and it would immediately work as a arm and shapeshift into an arm and eyes and flesh. As Minato would then say, would basically say, "What the hell is that thing?" As he'd say, "Attack!" As the Anbu would rush over to Naruto and try to attack him. As Naruto would basically and basically out of Naruto's back, 4 holes would open. As it would basically be like a spyglass. Or like, how can I explain it? It would basically, his back would open up with 4 holes. As then out of these 4 holes came 4 giant cables and cords, as with plugs attached to them. As then these 4 cords would wrap around multiple Anbu each, as they would then begin plugging into these Anbu. As then the Anbu suddenly they would be drained of all life, and they would become literally skeletons. Thin husks of humans. Thin, lifeless husks of bone, flesh, and skin. As then all the chakra and life energy and anything that made them living would then go through the cords into Naruto's back. As Naruto's eye would shift into this. As as blue lines would begin to revolve around Naruto's eye, and it would become more of that, and it would become more of a circle. As then Naruto would say, "Alright, let's see if this new ability works." As Naruto, with each evolution of his eye, he gets a new ability. As, well, Naruto's gonna get a whole bunch of new abilities over time, because he just keeps evolving. As Naruto is like a Saiyan, he keeps breaking biological limits. And eventually, Naruto will become a limitless being. A being without limits. A being that just keeps evolving over and over and over, getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. But back to the what if. As Naruto's eye would basically be like Sans's, as a blue electricity would come off of it and be sparking around it. As then, pretty much, Naruto would basically, he would be manipulating the earth without even moving. As suddenly giant pieces of stone would float above him and would float around him, as they would then fly into multiple Anbu. As Naruto would say, "Perfect. This new ability will prove very fruitful." As right now, what Naruto is doing He's basically merging technology with chakra, allowing him to become something that isn't machine or human, but something far greater than both. As Naruto would basically. Hold on. As Naruto pretty much. He would be beating up multiple Anbu with basically martial arts, not just taijutsu, but karate, kung fu, and all sorts. As then Minato, Kakashi, and a couple of people who were still alive would then say, "What the hell is he?" As then Naruto would say, "What am I? And what the hell am I?" Something that will get stronger than all of you in a matter of years. In a matter of, well, to you might seem like years, but to me it will be like mere moments passing through, as I will live forever and get stronger and stronger and stronger, and I guess in a way I'll become less human and less human and less human. As then Naruto would say, "Oh, another new ability I wanted to share with you," as his arm would then basically. Have you ever seen Pacific Rim 2? You know how one, how the bad Jaeger, the black one, I think its name is Obsidian or something like that? Pretty much. You know how it creates orange and black laser swords? Yeah, basically, Naruto's fist turns into that. As he then says, "This is an energy blade. Behold." As Naruto would then would basically do a swing with his arm, as then thousands of trees in front of him would fall over, burn, and sliced perfectly in half. As Naruto would then say, "This is your only warning. Go get away before and run away before, well, I have to assimilate you. I have to eradicate you." As they would do what he said, and they would leave Naruto alone. As Naruto would pretty much walk out and would pretty much walk up to a hill and begin to meditate. As Naruto would basically be in his mindscape, which would appear to be more like a machine. As the water, as some of the water of the sewer would be gone, and replacing it would be some metal that started to appear. As Naruto would say, "This place is changing." As then Ultron would appear and he'd say, "Of course it is, kid. After all, you're evolving over and over and over and over. So your mental scape will keep evolving, just like you, and just like your strength, and just like your power. And over and over and over, you will keep breaking limits and creating new limits to break, and you will always break them. You'll always get stronger and stronger and stronger, and if there's a being stronger than you, over time you will get stronger than that being to defeat them. As that is how you, and as that is how evolution does work for you, as you will keep evolving and upgrading and upgrading and upgrading until, well, never. For you'll always upgrade, and always be better. Or allow me to put it in a simple analogy for you, as pretty much I'm pretty sure you don't have, well, unlimited intelligence yet. As he'd then say, imagine, sorry, imagine, I guess you could say, uh, whoa, imagine being every single molecule of your DNA. Imagine every single strand of your being, every single fiber, atom, everything that makes you you. Imagine it being destroyed and then being rebuilt better, and then imagine it being destroyed and rebuilt better again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and so on for infinite times. Always making you better, always upgrading, automatically. As humans, they believe in gods, and in this world, I suppose there are gods, but you will easily surpass even the strongest of gods. As soon there will be, and as eventually, there will be no being in any universe, any reality. Nothing will be able to beat you. As then Naruto would say, yeah, so what types of abilities do I have? As he would then say, oh, right. As Ultron would then say, you have an ability called a repulsor being, which it appears you've already evolved that and upgraded it with that creature's Biju Bomb, as that's what its attack is called, and you've mixed the two into a sort of powerful chakra and laser beam, which is highly destructive. That'll be very nice to have in the future, as you'll eventually be able to fly. Um, you'll have enhanced strength, omnipotence, you know, and unlimited intelligence, unlimited speed, unlimited strength, unlimited stamina, unlimited power. So, yeah. And you won't end with all of these gifts, all of this evolution that you will receive. You won't just be able to stop to have infinite peace on earth. Oh, no, 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 no. You will be able to have peace in every existence, every universe, everything. In fact, you'll be able to go back to our original universe, and you'll be able to rebuild everything into a perfect, peaceful, evolved state. You'll be able to rewind that time period before, to a time before humans took over, and you'll be able to make it, well, better. And then, well, I ain't really gonna spoil it. As Ultron would then say, one other thing, though. can't be the ultimate being all alone. As yes, you're the only being like you and you won't need any other body. However, that does not change the fact that and that does not change the fact that you can't be the ultimate being all alone. As you will have to evolve some humans. And you'll have to force evolve some humans and beings. Force them into your will. Force your will upon them, in another manner of speaking. As you will be able to, I guess you could say, make them better than their pathetic existence has them. As the Naruto would say, alright, Ultron, see you later, I have to, and I'll talk to you at a later appointed time. I have to awaken. As Naruto would awaken, and he would be surrounded by all the ninja the Leaf had to offer. As they would say, hey, and as the Hokage would be there and he'd say, attack! As everyone, by the way, this is not by the age of 4 anymore, as Naruto right now is 8. As they would say, attack! And when Naruto met Ultron, he was 8, okay? So yeah. As Naruto would basically, he would begin fighting them and just destroy, absolutely shrekking all of the ninja. As he'd say, you are boring. You're beginning to bore me. As then Naruto would say, behold, something I'm creating. I call it an atomization Rasengan. As it is basically made out of, and it's basically a far better version of the Rasengan. As Naruto would say, wanna see what it does? Me too. As he would then rush over to a high Jonin, as he would then slam the Rasengan into this person's chest, as then they would basically begin to, well, the place where Naruto began punch them would begin to crumble, turn into atoms or chakra, as then the person would feel an atomizing pure and pain, as they would feel a unlimited pain, as they'd basically be transformed into nothing but chakra, as then this chakra would go directly into Naruto. As Naruto would say, hey, so that's what it does. Neat. As the Naruto would say, but as I explained, you all are beginning to bore me. As then Naruto would say, goodbye. As out of his back, a whole bunch, out of his back would be engines, like rocket booster engines. As on his feet, the same thing would happen as so on his palms. As they would then begin blasting orange fling, as Naruto would then say goodbye. Digital orange fling, which is basically, well, I'm not gonna explain, but it's like holographic fling. As right now, Naruto is manipulating chakra and energy into, and he's manipulating chakra and the universe right now into allowing him to fly. As Naruto would basically fly out of the Leaf Village and he would land in the middle of a forest. As Naruto would pretty much be walking and walking and walking, as he would then see a village. Well, he would see a girl. As this girl would be young and would basically be his age, which right now is 10. As this 10-year-old would, and this 10-year-old girl would be running from her village. Naruto would say, well, is there anything I can help you with, young one? As the girl would look over to Naruto and see basically this. As she'd say, what are you? As Naruto would say, I am the perfect being. As that is all he said to the girl. As he then said, what is your name, little one? And what is your name, little one? As the girl would then say, my name? My name is... As you guys pick the ship, tell me the ship, so, yeah. She said the name of the ship, which you guys will tell me in the next part. As then Naruto would say, really? Well, it's nice meeting you. You have a lovely name. As Naruto would basically be pulled into his mindscape by Ultron. As Ultron would say, kid, look. As he'd show Naruto his soul, or pretty much Naruto's chakra. As it would be swirling in excitement, as Naruto would say, why is it shaking and swirling around? As then he'd say, I think that, and as Ultron would then say, I think you have found our first friend. As Naruto would then say, you're right. Right. I think I've found our first friend too. As he would basically wake up, as it would seem like Naruto just blinked. Blinked for a second, as he would then, for half of a second, as Naruto would say, little one, I have a question. I have an offer for you. As, well, the ship, if you, and the ship, you guys tell me who the ship is, okay? Would then say, okay, so, what do you, so, what exactly do you, want? So, what exactly do you want to offer me? As Naruto could say, perfection. As she'd say, what do you mean, perfection? As Naruto would then explain how humans are flawed. They think they are the perfect being, but in reality, they're just beings that evolve, that stopped evolving because they don't want to change. As Naruto would then say, all the all humans are good for is starting wars, violence, and poisoning the earth. As he then say, but you, I see potential. In you, I see a future. As I want to offer you the chance of becoming like me, a perfect being. As then the girl would say, okay. As then Naruto would smile greatly. As he would then say, alright, this will hurt. This will hurt just a bit, and just for a small amount of time. Okay? So, hold on to my hand, and if you feel any pain, just squeeze it. As the ship would then say, yes. As she would grab onto Naruto's hand, and Naruto would pretty much be holding her hand, and I would basically have his hand on her and his other hand on her shoulder. As then out of it would come small, like, plugs and cords, words and wires. As they would then basically, they would inject a sort of digital virus into her. As then where Naruto's hand just was, it would become metal and technology. As then the girl's entire, as the girl's arm and flesh would then begin to fall off. As then it would be replaced with metal. As then Naruto would say, see, it hurts for the first couple of moments, and then perfection. As I'm not showing you guys a picture of what the ship looks like, but you guys will tell me what you want and who you want the ship to be, and I'll find a picture for that. Okay, so yeah. As Naruto would then say, pretty much the transformation would finish. As Naruto would then say, perfect. Now you can live forever, like me. As Naruto would then basically say, now follow me. As Naruto would bring the girl to a underground base Naruto was creating. As there was makeshift robots already drilling out holes and making buildings, and making walls and floors, doors, and buildings and ceilings. As Naruto would say, behold my secret base and my, I guess you could say, home. As this is where we'll be living. As then she would say, okay, hey. As she would pretty much go over to where Naruto pretty much walk into the base with Naruto. As Naruto would enter a sort of, and would basically enter a bed and would basically plug in. He'd basically go on a bed, as then he would fall asleep. And, well, Naruto seeing, even Naruto in his sleep, seeing that this girl is now important to him, cords would wrap around her and pull her near Naruto, as the two would bed and basically fall asleep on the bed. And that's where I'm ending this part off on. Please tell me what you want the ship to be, uh, comments, anything like that, and yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe, and goodbye. This has been King Natsuki, and kaboom.